having a fantastic DAY with the palm trees. I'm just saying. How are you all DOING today? You see where I'm at? I'm in the sun, where everybody should be at. In the sun. The sun is amazing. Amazing. You know, if you're not in the sun, you're missing the sun, meaning that you're missing life. Because without the sun, there would be no life. Plants will not even grow without any sun. I'm just saying. But anyway, you all, we're just going to kick this off. Because we have a lot of religious people out there. Yeah, we got a lot of religious people out there. Whether you're a Christian, whether you're Jewish, you know, you study the Torah, Hindu, Muslim, and you all seem to want to vote. You all seem to want to vote despite the fact that you're religious. Now, in your scriptures, not mine, you don't see people voting. You have people appoint themselves to office by taking other people's land, property, territory, wives, treasures. But no religious person really votes. And you know why? Because there are no godly politicians. There are no godly politicians. Yet you claim that you love God, but you don't vote for God. Yeah, you don't vote for Allah. You don't vote for Yahweh. You know, you don't vote for Jesus the Christ. You don't vote for none of that. You vote for the people who do what? Who advocate devilishment. There is not a prophet in any of those scriptures that was religious and voted. Because you must remember that the religious structure was the government. And God, according to scriptures, whichever book you come out of, was never a politician. The people that God chose to lead people was people who was anti-government, because the government was full of hypocrisies. Just like Jesus Christ. He went against the Pharisees and the Sadducees. That was the government of the time. Because the scribes did what? They made and wrote the law. Not just for religion, but for politicians. But you still want to vote. In the lessons in the Nation of Islam, Elijah Muhammad asked the people the question in English Lessons 101. Why do you like the devil? Answer, because he gives you nothing. Because he gives you nothing. And what have these politicians given you since you've been voting? They've given you nothing. In fact about it, they scam you with the votes. They scam themselves because they rob and cheat with the ballots. But they are supposed to be honest people that you trust your lives with and the lives of your children with, and you trust these people. I want you to tell me one good candidate that's godly, that whom you are voting for this election 2024. Don't tell me that Trump is godly. Don't tell me that Kamala Harris is godly. Don't tell me that Tim Waltz is godly. Don't tell me that J.D. Vance is godly. because neither one of them is godly. They give you empty promises just as they have done years and years and years ago. And sadly, you all have no sense enough to understand that. And I find that that means that there's a good chance you don't have common sense. People had wanted a king, you see. Even in the Bible, the children of Israel wanted a king. They didn't want the messenger of God. They wanted a king. Whether he was ungodly or godly, neither one of them was godly. No king can be godly. No king can be godly. Even David, okay, because he was homosexual with Jonathan. That's all in your books, okay? Jesus the Christ went inside of the synagogues, the holy place of the Jews. He went in their synagogues and turned it upside down. All of the merchants, they had tables selling things, cheating people, had nothing to do with God. And the laws that they wrote had nothing to do with God. It was all for the empowerment of themselves. Jesus comes and disrupts their whole program. Yeah. And what did they do? They killed him. The Romans did not kill Jesus. The Jews killed Jesus. Politicians. But you go out here and vote. You know, you got this guy, Tim Waltz, who is the governor of Minnesota. How many unlawful and unjustly deaths has taken place under his watch with the police? Huh? Now, the governor is the president of the state, correct? And the mayor at that time was, they got Mayor Fry, okay? And all of this evil, unjustly deaths by police existed under Tim Waltz's watch. And he did nothing about it, except for the case of George Floyd. And that case, he had to do something about it because his hands were tied. The world saw that. So he had to do something. What has Tim Waltz done good in the state of Minnesota? Nothing. Nothing. I be in Minnesota. I be all over the map, as you can tell. But Tim Waltz and all of these politicians that you vote for gives you nothing but death, laws that restrain your freedom, taxes, and they're all for the rich. Nothing is for the poor. Nothing is for the poor. Kamala Harris and Tim Waltz said that they are going to have an agenda for black men in America. How many of you all believe that? Because I don't believe it. It's just a front. What did they say they were going to do? Now, later on today, I'm going to put up what they said that they were going to do because I'm doing this live right now. I'm not doing no editing with this. But they said that they will eliminate these debts, school debts. They say that they will give black men a chance to be entrepreneurs and give them these programs so that they can become self-fulfilled and do something with themselves. They even said that they would make marijuana for recreational use for black men, because this is their black men agenda. Huh? Marijuana is legal in many states in the United States already without that being a black man's agenda. I'm just saying. So if Kamala Harris and Tim Waltz were going to do anything for you, why they haven't already done it? Seeing that Tim Waltz is the governor, meaning the president of the state of Minnesota, and Kamala Harris, right? She's vice president, and she's done nothing for you at all already. She has the power to make changes right now. But you are not on that ballot. You are not on the agenda. In her commercial that she made for her election, she said that she would be known for her helping the middle class. Right? That's her first priority is the middle class. Not poor people, but the middle class. Where does that leave you, black man? They say they have a black man agenda, but it seems to me that a lot of black men have been killed by the police unjustly on both of their watches. And she's the vice president. Not to mention the fact that she was responsible for having let the immigrants come in, because Joe Biden assigned her to protect that wall. Huh? I remember in an interview when Kamala Harris said that when she was the politician, the whatever she was in California, right? The attorney general and all that stuff, working with the courts, working for the state, and she still allowed all of these immigrants to come in. And she said, how are you going to stop them? That's what she said in the interview. I know you all have seen that. I'm not the only one who have seen that interview. She said, how can you stop the immigrants? So how are you going to stop them when you get in office? You're already in office. You are the vice president. You're second in command of this country, and you've done nothing for the people. Nothing. But yet, you want the people to vote for you, and you're not even a godly person. How can you be religious and talk about God and you love God, but you give your votes to ungodly people? You give your votes to demonic people. Huh? Then they say that she was caught up in the Chinese connection party. You know what I'm talking about. Yeah. How can you trust these people with your livelihood, with the lives of your children? How can you trust these people? They've done nothing for you at all. Maybe one day, in a couple of weeks, you will understand what I'm saying. Maybe you already understand what I'm saying. But you think about that, religious people. Why don't you vote for God? Huh? You want these politicians to help you and change your condition when you are responsible for changing your own condition. God is not going to help a people until they help themselves. And we, the people of this country, is not helping ourselves, because we're giving away our power to people to look over us, people to make laws for us to abide by. And they're all bad, nothing good. Even Kamala Harris is with Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is trying to get people locked up who goes against the government, who speaks out against the government evil and their unjustly acts. And Kamala Harris is backing Hillary Clinton on that. Y'all better pay attention. I don't care what kind of politician you are. If you running for governor, if you running for senator, have you seen these commercials for senators? They bring out all of the bad on both sides so that you can see, and none of them, as you can see, is for your benefit. People want to tell women what to do with their bodies. A God-given person on this earth, and you're letting another person that you don't even know, you're going to vote for them to tell you what to do with your body. You're going to vote for them to tell you what to do with your life. How foolish can you be? Obviously, we have a lot of foolish people out here. Even you had Barack Obama with his lame ass, who did nothing for black people when he was in office. But he gave other people a whole lot of money. You wasn't on the agenda and you never asked for nothing. And he wasn't vice president, he was a senator before he became president. But here it is, you have Kamala Harris, who is a vice president who has power. And she ain't done nothing for you yet. What do you think she's going to do for you when you get in office? When she gets in office, I'm sorry. She's going to do absolutely nothing. It's sad that you can't have a conversation with people about politics because people say they don't like to talk about politics because it causes problems. How can it cause a problem talking about it when you don't even know these people? Many people go vote just to vote. Some people vote because she appears to be a black woman. She ain't black. She's white according to her birth certificate. It says that she's Caucasian. On her mother's birth certificate, it says that she's Caucasian. It don't say Indonesian. You can fact check that if you like. And once you do, you'll be like, damn, Mo was right. And I want to thank one particular YouTuber out there who helped me understand that and showed me the information. I'm not going to mention his name. Not right now. YouTube seems to not like for you to mention people's name when you give them credit. But it's okay. He's just a big YouTuber, okay? However, if you vote for these people, you're crazy. And you already know Donald Trump's agenda. I didn't put Donald Trump on this title page because I didn't have enough room for Donald Trump. But you know when Donald Trump, if he ever gets into office, you know he's going to let the police loose on you. He's going to let the police loose on you, black folks. Do you see what those white Trump supporters did to those black Trump supporters? That's an example of what is to come. But you still vote for him. You have children in school right now in Chicago, Oak Park, Illinois. These students are having a hard time in Edward Percy Julian Middle School in Oak Park, being called racial names, being punished for being called a nigger, being punished for teachers giving them cotton seeds to take home. And these are all black children. White children didn't receive no black cotton bags, cotton seeds to take home. Everywhere you go across this country, you still have white people teaching their children to be bigots. That's an actual fact. If Caucasians today are not teaching their children to be bigots. Why do we still have racial discrimination? Donald Trump is going to take us back to the George Wallace days. Y'all remember that. And if you're not familiar with George Wallace, he was the governor of Alabama. And you see what he did. In fact about it, according to the reports, you just had a black man in Alabama that was recently hanged in an abandoned apartment because he had a lawsuit against the cops in his town. And they hanged that man. Just from my experience as being a black man in America, black men don't hang themselves. That's a ritual for white people to keep instilling fear in black people, to keep them in check, to keep them in control, to keep them subjugated. And yet and still, you go vote for these people. Am I making sense to you at all? I hope I am, because I know I am. And it is my hopes that you wake up and have some common sense about yourself. Anytime you vote for a person and give them your power to have rule over your life, you're a fool. You are a fool. You better think about what I'm saying. These people are like Halloween characters. They dress up and masquerade their face. They masquerade their intentions. They masquerade the whole agenda so that they can get your vote. How many times have they played this trick on you? How many times have they played this trick on you? And you mean to tell me that you in your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, and you still looking for other people that you don't know whom has a history of going against you, you still hoping that they will change? Come on. I don't care if you're Democrat. I don't care if you're Republican. These people sleep in the same beds. Their children go to the same school. They go to the same country club. They eat dinner together. They party together. And yet, you let them give you a picture of how they're divided. What a shame that you can't think for yourself. When you can't think for yourself, other people will think for you and control your life. And you must remember, during this election, this is a very big election. They say that black people was only 13% of the population here in the United States. If that's true, why do our vote count anyway then? Because they're going to do whatever they want to do anyway. And when they get in office and they don't perform the agenda or duties that they told you about, there's nothing that you can do about it. There's nothing that you can do about the agenda that they said that they were going to do and they don't do it. Sad for you, because you was dumb enough to vote for them. Like I say, they like Halloween characters. They like a Freddy and Mr. Krueger and Jason. All of them have the same agenda, which is power and control over their subjects, which is you, whom you gave your power to. Halloween characters. And speaking of Halloween, Halloween is coming up. And what happens on Halloween? You take your children to strangers' doors to get candy, to get treats, or a trick. And you don't know what kind of trick is in the bag once they place it in your treat bag. You don't know what kind of tricks they're putting in your bag. But you tell your children, don't talk to strangers. Don't accept anything from strangers. But you send them to strangers' doors. And some of you parents take your child to a stranger's door to get some candy when you can go to Walgreens, Walmart, Target, CVS, and buy your candy yourself? A prime example of this would be in Rio de Janeiro, when you had two young children accepted some candy from a stranger. And what happened to those two little children? They died. They died accepting candy from a stranger. You don't know what that candy is laced with. You don't know what intentions that the person behind the door is giving your child. You don't know their intentions. You don't know what they're going to do. They may snatch you and your child in the house and play Freddy Krueger on your ass. But it's Halloween. I'm just saying. Trick or treat. Many people want treats versus the trick. Either way, both of them are deadly when they come from strangers. You tell your child not to get in the car with strangers, but you send them to the house of strangers to be kidnapped, because it can happen. Your child can come up missing, and you can come up missing by going to a stranger's door asking for some candy that you can go buy them yourself. Y'all better think about that. I'm not going to be on this live long, but there's some things that I had to inform you all of, because it's obviously that some of us don't have common sense. But you think about that. And by all means, go outside and get some sun if you can. Me, I'm getting plenty sun right now under these beautiful palm trees that I'm under. Yeah, and there's no palm trees in Chicago. I was just saying. And speaking of Chicago, yeah, I'm sweating out here. Mayor Brandon Johnson. How many people are going to have him reelected? Not many. Because right now, you have 8 Brandon bodies on his watch so far, because he removed those shot spotter cameras. 8 bodies. It went from 5 to 8. Just like that. Just like that. So it is my hopes that you all understand what I'm saying about trick or treat, religion, voting, Tim Waltz, Kamala Harris, and Donald Trump. None of it is good. But I'm going to get out of here. But before I get out of here, I want you all, if you haven't done so already, go over there to my other channel, MOPOWERZ, all one word, no space, here on YOUTUBE. We will be placing up part 14 of Black Man of the Now and his family tonight. And if you're into hip-hop, R&B, spoken word, comedy, go over to my other channel, THEMOSHOW Classics, all one word, no space. We will be having more material up there tonight as well. There's a lot going on in the world. Don't get distracted by celebrities, okay? But I want to jump back to religion real fast, because I almost forgot to talk about this. So one more minute, just have a little patience with me. Now, when all of these people who was hit by the hurricane, okay, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, you know, that East Coast over there, did any of these religion preachers, pastors, open their church doors for any of the victims? Think about that. But they supposed to be godly too. Huh? Any of these people have these mega churches? Did Creflo Dollar help out? Did Kenneth Copeland help out? Did any of them? Did Joyce Myers help out? Did T.D. Jakes help out? And he really need to, like, you know, tip the balance on the scale to help save his own skin because of what he's involved in with P. Diddy. But think about that. None of these religious people that you give your money to, none of them helped save or did nothing for those victims of those hurricanes. And these pastors, these preachers are millionaires. I'm just saying. What's the difference between a preacher and a politician? Not much. I'm just saying. Think about that, you all. Think about that. Sorry about that. Think about that. And on your way out the door, hit the subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and the word all to help ensure that you get notifications when I upload videos on YOUTUBE or go live. Just word from the wise. And hit those condiments to like and to share. Share the information with relatives, friends, co-workers, anyone that you come into contact with. It is a magnificent way to jumpstart your conversation on religion, voting, Tim Waltz, Kamala Harris, Donald Trump, and Brandon Johnson. And Halloween. Peace out, you all. Thanks for viewing, and never give up on your DREAMS.